All right, a very big welcome to you, my viewers and subscribers from all over the world. This is yet another episode on The Truth with Ben Jokes, your favorite political talk show. Now, for many years, citizens of this country have complained about how the police and Nigerian army shoot Nigerians unprovoked. But the so-called executives and lawmakers have done nothing about it because they feel that life is all about looting public funds, and they feel that sitting on their high horses, no harm can come to them. Now, report reaching us here is that police shot and killed the sister of Taraba State Governor. Check it out, breaking. Taraba Governor Kefasi's sister, accidentally shot by police escort, is dead. I'm not celebrating her death. I'm just saying the anarchy that the so-called governors, presidents, senators, and judges, etc., are allowing to thrive in this country will one day consume all of us. The armed forces and the courts that should ordinarily provide succor for the people are now being used against them. One day, the sky will fall, and even the people who think themselves untouchable will be crushed. Few hours ago, the saga between the very successful Nigerian-born British politician Kemi Badenoch and the APC got into the spotlight again, with Tinubu's vice Shettima asking her to remove the Kemi from her name, all because she called out Nigeria and Africa's failed systems, and Nigerians came down heavily on Shettima backing Kemi Badenoch. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that, the Nigerian judiciary showed their shamelessness in the Dele Farotimi and Babalola saga. And this explains why Peter Obi paid Afe Babalola a visit that has now become controversial in the media. And this sort of show of shame in the Nigerian judiciary is one of the reasons why the likes of Kemi Badenoch are saying they don't want to have anything to do with Nigeria. Before I show you details of the Shettima versus Kemi Badenoch saga and details of the show of shame by the Nigerian judiciary and my take on Peter Obi's visit to Afe Babalola, let me quickly show you these videos. Watch how Edo State's uneducated, newly elected governor, Monday Ekpobelo, struggled to pronounce the state's budget. Person wey no fit pronounce budget, na him go use am well. See the video.
The Edo State 2025 appropriation bill of 605 billion 76 million 76, let me take it again, 506 billion 605 billion, sorry, 776 billion, sorry, it's confusing me. Okay, since
order you house, please. Mr. Speaker must be held in silence, please.
605 billion and details of the budget proposal for your consideration and approval. Thank you for your kind consideration.
What a shame. I still can't understand why the APC is hell-bent on completely destroying this country. How is it that in the whole APC camp Edo State chapter, this is the man they chose to bear their flag? There are no other people? What a catastrophe. And let no one come and tell me that his inability to pronounce the budget sum does not matter. Don't tell me that. It more than matters. First of all, it tells me that he knew nothing about the preparation of that budget. He was not there when all those things were put together. That's why he does not even have an idea. It's all the handiwork of Adams Oshomole. He wants to continue ripping the state apart. This is the Tinubu template. Secondly, this is how Tinubu was blabbing last year and some people kept saying it didn't matter. Today, look at where we are as a nation. Edo had a brilliant, intelligent, fantastic lawyer as the candidate of Labour Party, Olumide Akpata. This man had done very well as the president of the Nigerian Bar Association previously, but the powers that be, with the help of some of the people of Edo State, including the Oba of Benin, forced Monday Okpebholo on the state. This is pathetic. Now, let us take this next video, an interview of Buba Galadima. See the video.
Is this government doing equity in Kechi? Are they doing equity in their service delivery? Have you asked Nigerians on the street whether there is equity in what is happening in Nigeria today? The day of reckoning is coming in 2027. I don't believe in zoning. And I had done that because I was a member of the Constituent Assembly in 1987, member of the Constitutional Conference in 1994, and a member of the National, in 2014. So I should know better. We promulgated this, we designed this constitution. So I know every letter of it and why that is there. I thought we would talk about, why did the president sign a memorandum of understanding with France? What is happening to your party, NNPP? What is the...
We'll get to all of those.
These are issues that are of importance as to whether there is going to be a vacancy in 2027. I want to tell you that there is no amount of intimidation by anybody, even amount of killing by anybody, that can stop Nigerians from producing an alternative presidential candidate to run. And I want to say, and Nigerians should know that we know as of today that this government and APC are sending emissaries to compromise leaders of political parties and offering tens of billions to leaders of parties.
Including
so that
your party, the NNPP?
Of course. We are one of the registered political parties.
Did you receive the 10 billion naira?
I say offering. We know them. We know what they are doing. Even if it's by word of mouth, that's a promise.
So you're promising
that they are promising all political parties to align with the agenda of the present government, so that in 2027 there would be no candidate.
You heard that. Buba Galadima there, making it clear that Tinubu is already bribing political parties ahead of 2027 to all step down for him. Of course, we know that he is the sponsor of the crisis in Labour Party. But as I would always say, the people have the final say. Tinubu has taken a bag of rice from 35,000 naira to between 80 to 100,000 naira, local bag of rice. By this time next year, it will be around 130 to 150,000. That is rice alone. No? Every other thing has increased in that manner too. By this time next year, it will be around $1 to like 2,800 naira. Imagine what it would be in 2027. So if Nigerians would not rise and push out such a man, then they love their bondage. If they love their bondage, then let them remain in it. Point blank, period. Now, let us look at those two updates that have become the major talking points in the Nigerian political media space. First is that disgraceful video of Shettima responding to Kemi Badenoch's resentment towards Nigeria and the other failed systems in Africa. And the only thing Shettima could brag about concerning Nigeria was population. And then next is the update of that show of shame by the Nigerian judiciary regarding the Dele Farotimi and Afe Babalola saga. Let's start by taking that video by Shettima. See the video.
Who founded Facebook? The co-founder of Facebook was Eduardo Luis Sabirin, born in Sao Paulo, Brazil, of Jewish Brazilian ancestry. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, was a migrant from South Africa. He owns SpaceX and now X, formerly Twitter. I can name names. Sergey Brin, the co-founder of Google, is worth over $30 billion. He's of Russian background. Rupert Murdoch, the chief executive of News Corp, is of Australian descent. Madeleine Albright, who became the United States Secretary of State, was of Czech origin. Steve Chen, the co-founder of YouTube, is originally from Taiwan. Immigrants build nations and immigrants build civilizations. One of the men in the front seat here has a thriving business in Namibia. He lived in Australia for over a decade, adding value to the Australian economy. Hence, there is a need for us to respect and cherish immigrants. Migrants are the source of life in all societies. Rishi Sunak, the former British Prime Minister, is originally from India. A very brilliant young man. He never denigrated his nation of ancestry, nor poured venoms on India. Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the British Labour or Conservative Party. We are proud of her, in spite of her efforts at denigrating her nation of origin. She is entitled to her own opinions. She has even every right to remove the Kemi from her name. But that does not underscore the fact that the greatest black nation on earth is the nation called Nigeria. 1 out of every 3-4 black men is a Nigerian. And by 2050, Nigeria will surpass the United States, will be the 3rd most populous nation on earth. 1 out of every 3 black men will be a Nigerian.
What a disgraceful speech. Largest black nation in the world, yet the poverty capital of the world. Largest black nation in the world with the worst police force in the universe. Most corrupt politicians worldwide. Worst primary healthcare system in the universe. What does this say about black people? Kemi Badenoch's snub of Nigeria was simply a call to you and your likes to begin doing the right things to change. But because you don't want to desist from your evil ways, you chose to attack her and you disgraced yourself in that speech. Forget that those sycophants were clapping. This is a disgraceful speech. And Ben Samuel here says, these politicians feel deeply offended when they are called out, yet they do nothing to address the state of the most populous black nation in the world, which is also among the poorest, riddled with corruption and crooked individuals in power. Stop blaming Kemi and focus on addressing the issues she's raising. Even David Cameron, former UK Prime Minister, told Buhari to his face that Nigeria is fantastically corrupt, and Buhari agreed. If you don't like Kemi's statement, then change the country, end the looting and injustice. Period, my brother. And Agu here says, thank you for slapping yourself after making such statement. Nigeria that kills its own citizens for fun wants good things to be spoken about them. Funny, really very funny. And the lone here replied, he said, I thought I was the only one who saw it. Even the angels are angry with him. You know, while speaking, he kept on slapping himself because he knew he was saying rubbish. Now, let us look at how the Nigerian judiciary once again confirmed Dele Farotimi's positions in his book by disgracing themselves before the whole world. Yesterday, Federal High Court in Ekiti granted Dele Farotimi 50 million naira bail and adjourned his trial to January 29th. That is right there on your screen. But today, the magistrate court in the same Ekiti state began saying something else. Look at how the papers reported it. Breaking: Magistrate Court Ekiti adjourns ruling on Dele Farotimi's bail application to December 20. Sahara reporters. The Magistrate Court in Ado Ekiti, Ekiti State, has reserved its ruling and adjourned the bail application of human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi to Friday, December 20, 2024. The ruling means Farotimi, despite the growing public outcry, will remain in custody for another 10 days, prolonging his wait for justice and freedom. Earlier, Farotimi on Tuesday pleaded not guilty to 14 charges leveled against him at the Ekiti State Magistrate Court. The charges, which were initially 16, were amended and reduced to 14 by the prosecution before being served to the defendant. Earlier, Sahara reporters reported that human rights lawyer Farotimi arrived at the premises of the Ado Ekiti Magistrate Court in Ekiti State in the ongoing trial on the defamation suit filed against him by legal luminary Afe Babalola San. The Nigerian Correctional Service brought the lawyer on Tuesday morning without handcuffs after facing backlash on Monday at the Federal High Court. Sahara reporters reported also that Farotimi submitted a preliminary objection urging the Ado-Ekiti Magistrate Court in Ekiti State to dismiss the defamation suit filed against him by Afe Babalola San. You heard that. Now, the judge at the Federal High Court on Monday granted Dele Farotimi bail. Another judge in a court of lower jurisdiction, the Magistrate Court, on Tuesday cancelled the bail. This is a case that is being followed all over the world because the book that sparked the controversy is now the best-selling book on the #1 platform, Amazon. And Nigerian judges are fighting themselves like this. Does this not confirm what Mr. Farotimi has been saying about the Nigerian judiciary? Now, let me talk about Obi's visit to Afe Babalola, which has now become controversial in the media. First of all, Obi has not said anything about that visit, so we can't say for sure what he discussed with Afe Babalola. Omoyele Sowore has been saying Obi went there to beg Afe Babalola. He has been all over saying that Obi begs up and down. I believe we all know how Sowore talks. He's just trying to score a cheap point on Peter Obi. So a wise person, every wise person should just ignore him on that matter. Personally, this is why I think Obi went there. Obi may have gone there definitely not to beg Afe Babalola that the case should be settled because Farotimi has made it clear that he has his evidence. So Obi didn't go there to beg, in my own opinion. He only went there to ask that Farotimi be granted bail. He went there just because of this bail issue. Because this is the tactics they want to use. We adjourn. This is the tactics they want to use to keep the man in detention. And I believe Obi simply told Afe Babalola to stop using the police against Farotimi, let him go home, then follow the case through in court. Because there are only two ways to get a bail for Farotimi with the way this thing is going. If the court refuses to grant him that bail, there are only two ways. The first way is to meet Afe Babalola and convince him to stop influencing the court, to refuse this man bail. He's due for a bail. Let him get his bail. You meet him and you respectfully appeal to him. That is the first way. Then the second way is to shut the nation down in a protest and a revolution and force them to do the right thing. And to be honest, you and I know that Nigerians are not ready for that kind of revolution yet. If they were, what are they still waiting for? Why are people not on the streets? The protest that Sowore tried to organize today, how many people responded? At the end of the day, if the number is not overwhelming, if they organize a protest and the number is not overwhelming, the police will just arrest the few people who came out and then you will have more people to bail. And that left Obi with only the first option, to try to get Farotimi out of that detention by telling Afe Babalola to do the right thing. So all these people saying Peter Obi went to beg Afe Babalola and they don't like it, you are not applying wisdom. There is no damage left that Dele Farotimi has not done to the reputation of Afe Babalola. He has already said everything on his mind. The whole world has heard it. It is still circulating and is going to be there forever. He has already finished with Afe Babalola. So anyone that is going to meet him now to speak to him, the damage has been done. It is just wisdom to try to get Dele Farotimi out of detention. After all, if Dele Farotimi is going to court against Afe Babalola, what do we expect from the Nigerian judiciary? Honestly, between me and you, between you and I, do we expect that the Nigerian judiciary will now say that everything Dele Farotimi wrote about Afe Babalola is correct? Do you think they will pass such a judgment? Personally, I don't think they will pass such a judgment. All I know is that Dele Farotimi is going to, bring up a good showing in court and, say some things that will still reveal more things. Because this time around, he's going to be bringing out his evidence. But whatever you bring, people that can say that 25% in the FCT that was written in the Constitution does no longer matter. There's nothing they cannot overturn. So I don't really expect much from them in court. The damage has been done already. The most important thing now is to get a bail for Dele Farotimi. Let him be coming to court from home, and that is what Peter Obi, in his wisdom, is trying to secure. There is no victory for Afe Babalola. He has already lost. What we need now is for our man Dele Farotimi to be safe and sound in his house. So all those people that are saying that Obi went to visit Afe Babalola, we are not happy. Most of them are just noisemakers. Please ignore them. And we hope that this bail will be granted Dele Farotimi soon. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away.